Well, hello. It's been a while since I've done a live stream. You would think with a whole summer vacation that this job comes with, I would have done one over the summer, but no. So here we are in November 3rd, 2024, and it looks like I have 7 people here. I see we've already been active in the comments. We've got, let's see, I'm not wearing my glasses. Juicy Louisi from Cornwall, England. TJ Archivist, also Brit here. Let's see who else is here. Oh, Norwich, United Kingdom. So United Kingdom is well represented here in the comments. So that's not, I don't really have a good plan for this video. I just haven't done a live stream in a while, and I thought it would be a good day to do one. I do have some pens down here out of sight that we can play with. This live stream almost ended before it started because I could not get the camera to connect, which is kind of important for a live stream, but seems to be working now. Hopefully my sound is good. Nobody said anything, so let's see. We got Riverside, California. California's on my bucket list of places I'd like to visit. So's UK, honestly. Oh, South Africa. There are some spots in South Africa I'd like to visit. And somebody from Sigma, which I think that's a star. All right. Pamela says that the sound is perfect, so we are good to go. Juicy Louisi says loud and clear. Good. Awesome. I'm always nervous because I can't hear myself on this thing. So we're up to 16 viewers. I've kind of lost track of how to do a live stream. So I wrote down a couple of topics. I think one of the topics I'm just going to bring up this week, I released every 4 years, I do a Survivor Pens video of this pen. This is the Schrade Tactical Fountain Pen. A few people took it in a political direction. I actually sent it to a few people I trust just to make sure it wasn't inadvertently political. I will tell you what I'm doing in that video. I bought this pen because the idea of a tactical fountain pen was just hilarious to me. So I had to buy one. If you look around, you're going to see a lot of tactical fashion. It's a whole subculture. People buy tactical watches. They'll buy tactical survival gear, tactical flashlights, tactical vests, apparently tactical fountain pens. And so the first time I did a video on it, I just thought, I got to make fun of it somehow. So I did me as a survivor of a zombie apocalypse. It was summer when I filmed that one. I went a week without showering, which is a sacrifice in the summer. Covered myself. At the time, I had a bottle of Noodler's. Is it red black or black red? Anyway, one of those. And smeared it all over my t-shirt and on my face to look like zombie blood. And then I did I'm a survivor voice, that voice, which I'm not going to do too much of, or else you won't get a bit much of a video today because it's kind of hard on my vocal cords. I do have water. Oops. I have water out of reach, so we'll just pull the table closer. But can't do too much of that voice. Anyway, then because it was just by chance, it happened to be an election year when I did that, and I thought, why don't I tie it into the election? So who would have been running then? Maybe that was the Trump-Clinton year. I can't remember. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, so I said, don't vote for, and then I cut off right before I say who not to vote for to prevent that future. So 4 years later, I did the same thing. Yeah, it must have been Trump-Clinton because the next one was Trump-Biden, and now it's Trump-Harris. So I intentionally made them not political. If I want to be political, I'll be political, but it's not a political channel, so I didn't want to be. Let's see, who else is here? Oh, we're up to 17 people. That's awesome. Colorado Springs. Ooh, yeah, I've been reading about commonplace books. A couple people I follow have been doing videos on them. I want to talk about that one of these days. Florida, Yorkshire, England. Glad to hear that. And Orlando, Florida. So we're getting Florida in the house. So anyway, I normally my survivor pens, my rule is I have to have had it at least 5 years, and has to have been at least 5 years since its last video. But for the Schrade tactical fountain pen, I do it more often. I've already started planning my next time. This time I was gonna film it. I've been planning it and planning it. I'd gone over to Montana to this place called Medicine Rock State Park, which is, if you're into Montana, that's south of Baker, Montana. I'm on the exact opposite end of the part of Montana where all the tourists go. I live in North Dakota. I live in the part of North Dakota where all the tourists go, but anyway, all the tourists go to the mountains in Montana. But Medicine Rocks was an old river delta where the rivers drained into the ocean many, many years ago. And the sand dunes there got fossilized, and they survive as sandstone rock. Just now it's kind of out in the middle of rolling prairie, and it's forested. The Native American population used to see it as being a spiritual place. It's very cool. You can find Native American carvings in the rocks. You can find apparently Teddy Roosevelt's carved some in the rocks, and of course we got the modern people that can't resist carving in the rocks. But anyway, it's eroded. There's actually tunnels through some of the rocks. I had this whole bit where I was going to be surviving in one of those tunnels, and park was full of hunters. I never even crossed my mind that it was hunting season. And there's a sign out at the entrance that says hunting with what was it? Bow and arrow. I think black powder only, something like that. But and everywhere you turn, there were hunters. So I filmed real quick by a set of rocks that were by the road, and I got out of there. But I had a good day because the original plan had not been to go down to Ekalaka, over to Camp Crook, and all of that I ended up doing, which I talked about in my last Pens and Use. So it turned out, and the footage, I mean, it's not like I was going to take advantage of the great scenery to do a post-nuclear war video, but just kind of depressing that all my planning fell apart. But hey, the last time I filmed it, the Trump-Biden election, I had to film in my backyard because the roads were bad thanks to snow. So I haven't succeeded in doing exactly what I want yet, but I guess that's part of the fun. We are up to 21 people here. And yes, that's true. So far, it's been one particular supporter or one particular candidate that I've had all the political comments for, but whatever. Actually, there used to be, I don't know if it's still out, there used to be a pen that had, it had a level in it. There was measuring tape. Was it called a tool pen? Anyway, I thought it was cool, but I never bought one. Oh, there we go. I read down one more comment. Monteverde has the tool fountain pen. You're right. This does not have anything except, it's ribbed. So I guess, I don't know, the blood drains through, doesn't create suction. And then it's got this stabby end, which isn't very stabby. But I suppose, maybe if your car goes into a lake, you could smash out the window or something. Because actually, true story, if you think about the physics, when a car goes in the water, it is very hard to open the door because you are opening against all the pressure of the water. And you really can't get that open until the water floods the inside of the car, which would be absolutely batshit terrifying. Truth. Let's see. Cardiff is here. Why don't I just bring my computer closer? Of course, closer is where my vision gets even worse because distance, I'm fine. Like, well, not with these on, but I can make out the checks in my checkered shirt and everything. I can read the titles of my books in the next room, but boy, anything close. Actually, Wales is another. I've seen some great, actually, some great scenery from Wales. That is very high on my places that I want to visit. I don't. Sorry, what city did they say they were from? Cardiff. I don't much care about the cities. There's a couple of things I'd like to see. I want to go visit some of these small towns and see some of the wild scenery. No interest in like London or Edinburgh or, if I were to go to any country, I really have no interest in their capital cities or even their large cities. I've heard Venice, Italy is pretty much ruined by tourism. So, oh, right. We've got Indiana here, more California, a tactical typewriter. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. Oh, Sherry Zeck is here from Illinois and Pure Pen. Okay. I have a couple of different nibs for my Parker pens. So I bought an extra broad, double broad, something like that for a Parker Duofold. And I think it's a cursive italic or is it oblique? That doesn't matter. Anyway, I've got a couple of exotic nibs for Parker Sonnets. And those are all purchased at Pure Pens. And I think my broad nib on my it's not laying here. So I put my glasses on, can see it. My Waterman Karen has a broad nib, which I bought from Pure Pen. So yeah, I've bought from them. They're my place to get some exotic nibs. And apparently they make ink also, which I did not know. Hey, my chair's squeaky. Medicine Lake, Montana. So I actually took a class with a woman who was a math teacher in Medicine Lake, Montana. So Medicine Lake, Montana has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with Medicine Rocks. As far as I know, they're completely unconnected. Medicine Lake is more in the northeastern part of Montana. She taught in Medicine Lake and her husband taught in Plentywood. And I don't think they're there anymore, which is why I feel free to say that. I don't know much about that part of Montana, to be honest. But yeah, it's always interesting when you start talking to people that they'll have relatives that homesteaded here and have left. Like there is a family that, well, I think I've shown you his grave. This gentleman named Gene Pearl, who was killed in the closing days of the First World War from around here. None of his family live around here. They're all out on the West Coast now, but they still have ties to this area. At that same cemetery, there was a woman was wandering around in the cemetery. Then she showed up at the school later, and the cemetery is way out in the middle of nowhere. But she showed up at the school because she was trying to research her family who had owned, was it the creamery in Rame, North Dakota. Now, it's been a long time since Rame had a creamery, but yeah, she showed up at the school trying to find graduation pictures of these relatives. So, it's wild that North Dakota, but people are connected here. Oh, and we've got Belgium. Awesome. All righty. So what did I write as topics for this? I can't even remember. I know I had a couple. So I talked about the tactical fountain pen. And I know that's a whole subculture, and the Schrade was obviously trying to hone in on it. And who knows? I don't know much about Schrade. Maybe they make tactical gear. There's certain, men get into fashion too. It's not just a woman thing. Just men's fashion is a little different, usually advertised differently and so on, but same deal. My fashionable fountain pen. This was a fad. I don't even know if they still make it. This is the Kaweco All Sport, but it's the stonewashed edition. Yeah, silly gimmick because I could buy a blue one, use it in my pocket for a while and get the same effect, but nope, had to buy that. Just like people buy jeans that already have holes ripped in them. I rip my holes for free. As I've aged, I rip them in different places now. When I was younger, it was always on the back pockets, on the inside upper corner of the back pockets. That's where I would always rip them. Now it's either the knee, because I'll usually discover it when I'm getting dressed and put my foot right through the knee, or the crotch of the jeans, or dress pants. That's usually okay. Dress pants, it's usually the knee. Jeans, it's usually the crotch area. So not fat. I guess the knee would be fashionable. The crotch thing is not so fashionable. I once ripped at school. I caught my pants on something and ripped the front of them wide open. And luckily was wearing black underwear, but because I'm a science teacher, so I wear black pants all the time. I don't wear or own any other color of dress pants. I just wear black dress pants. I buy cheap dress clothes. I don't even really wear a tie anymore to teach. I look enough different from my students that I don't have to anymore. But anyway, why am I talking about this? It's like a okay. Ooh, this is interesting. Tactical appeals to men like eco appeals to women. Eco pens are plastic. I'm guessing eco as environmental is what you mean, because I actually wear I'll give you a fashion thing about me. I like the eco, but it might be eco ECCO brand shoes anyway. That's I buy black ones, and that's what I wear as my dress shoe at school, because there's not a dress shoe. It's a lot more comfortable, so I gave up that too. And tactical pens need end capping with both hands. Yeah, true. Well, yeah. So I have to unscrew it, and if I want to post it, screws to post. And I didn't even notice this. The clip and the nib don't even line up. So let's say we look at a few pens. There is no rhyme or reason to this. This was going to be my pens in use pens, and I was going to film it a little late Friday night, but I thought, what the hey? And then I got asked at the last minute to line judge our last home volleyball game, because nobody would do it on a Friday night. And I can't say no. So I did that instead. And yes, I think you have it. Sales BS. It's kind of a tribal thing. I drink out of a Stanley water bottle, which it turns out that was a whole fad. For years, when I used to drink more coffee, I would use my green Stanley thermos, take it to work, carry my coffee in it, and that was my coffee for the day. In the years since, I've cut way back on my coffee, so I just do 1 cup a day. So whatever's in my insulated mug, that's what goes to school. But I didn't know Stanley would become a fashion thing, and it did, in all kinds of different colors. Stanley water bottles. What is it? Yeah. I don't remember the brand that's popular now. I don't care. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of sales BS. It's you just want to be cool, and even as adults, we fall into that. And I will admit, I've fallen for it. I've got this stonewashed Quebeco All Sport. I'm not even that big of a fan of the Quebeco Sport, but I own it. So there you go. The fountain pen thing, that's what a lot of these companies do. When Lamy comes out with a new color for the Safari every year, that's marketing. Doesn't matter. When Quebeco does new colors, doesn't matter. It's just marketing. They do a new color every year. Lamy has gotten a lot of people to buy some very expensive Lamy 2000s just by saying, hey, how about we make the Macrolon green this year? Huh? And people buy it. Whatever you're into. I bought a couple of pens just for the color. There's one laying here. So let's just look at a couple of pens. So it might be a little awkward here. That was awkward. All right. Okay. Yeah, we're not doing this. Okay. There we go. So I don't have the good camera. I'm using a document camera for this, and I think I got everything. Everything is upside down. You don't know that, but I know that. There we go. So there's just a mess of pens here. Some of them weren't going to be in pens in use. I kind of laid pens here. This was one actually, this is my one with no ink in it. I bought two of these. This is a Lamy 80. Not a Lamy, sorry. Jinhao 80. I bought two of them. One was all black. That must be the one I was carrying with me earlier. And then this one, which was more Lamy 2000-like. I'm actually going to film a rodeo where I compare the Lamy 80 and the Lamy 2000, but we'll give you a quick preview here. Yeah, very expensive pen. Hey, we've got Montreal, Canada. Okay, so if you're Canadian, you probably pronounced it Pierre. So, fun fact, the capital of South Dakota, I live in the good Dakota, I live in North Dakota, but South Dakota has a capital that shares your first name, but they pronounce it Pierre, like Pierre Gustafson, only, Pierre, South Dakota. What's that comment? There we go. Alrighty, see, some other fun stuff. So this is a Survivor pen video that's coming soon. I filmed a writing sample last spring. About time. So this is A.G. Spalding and Brothers. I think they only made one model. Bought it from Jet Pens. They sold these for a long time. I don't know how popular it was. I've never seen another video about them. I inked up my Pelikan 400NN. This is a vintage pen from the 1950s. I was reading that Pelikan, I don't know if they've done it yet or if they're about to, but what you can't see in this lighting is that this is alternating transparent and green. But I was reading that they're not going to do that anymore. It's not going to be transparent or translucent or whatever it is anymore. And so people are upset, and they're doing it as a cost savings measure. This is one I got from Proto Pens recently. A Reform 4251. I filmed the writing sample, just not the talking part. A little different because, yeah, you're seeing that, right? Let's get the focus on it. That is triangular there. So the cap is kind of triangular, but everything else is round. So I'm not sure, other than to make it look different, I'm not sure what the advantage of that was. Oh, we have The Hague in the Netherlands. Netherlands is another place I'd want to visit. Okay, this is going to sound terrible. I don't actually care about Amsterdam at all, so I probably won't go to Amsterdam, but I would like to see the Netherlands, especially tulip fields. I just think I've seen photos of those, and it's so beautiful. So I did break down finally and buy, and I never removed this sticker goo. I did finally break down and buy a transparent Pilot Custom 823. Yes, with the signature nib. I gave in and bought one. I've been using the Diplomat lately, Diplomat Aero. Bought the fire blue finish. I've done a video on that, but it's going to be in pens in use because it's been in use. I have, which pen is in this? Oh, this pen usually lives in a sleeve unless I'm writing with it. This is my Platinum Izumo. Trying to remember the name of the finish. It's based off of some temple. I want to say Byakudan, but don't hold me to that. I might be wrong. But it's based off of a temple in Japan. I have this Faber-Castell, which totally surprised me. When I did this in Pens in Use last week, I went to find the video I'd done on it. There isn't one. And you can tell from in here that I've been writing with it a lot because it's almost empty. I like this pen, so I don't know how I slipped not doing a video on it. So I have to rectify that. It's a Faber-Castell 882. That helps. I have my Senator Regent, which is a surprisingly just comfortable pen to write with. Yes, all of these are inked up. And this Mont Blanc Monte Rosa turquoise. Just a lower cost steel nib version of Mont Blanc. They used to have student pens. We've got, let's see. Turns out this is ready for a Survivor Pens video. Who knew? This almost didn't survive. This came close to being sold a few times, but it has it's a much nicer pen when you don't use the steel nib that I bought it with. Of course, you saw this is laying here. This is the stone-washed finish, also one I've owned for more than 5 years. I have a lot of pens here. Often when I do pens in use, you don't see all the pens that are laying here. This one, surprisingly, this Parker Ellipse is a Survivor pen I've had. Ooh, I got something on it. Huh, something gooey. I don't know what or how, but apparently I did. There. Make it look a little more presentable. But Parker Ellipse, very short-lived pen model. They didn't sell these for long. A little dry, my feeling. And then I don't know why this is still here, but I've got a Moon Man. Majan something or other. A1. I guess they sell one without the clip, and then there are some versions that are made with really small, that are smaller, and plastic versions. That might be Jinhao. Anyway. Yeah, I know why they quit making Monte Rosa. I guess they just wanted to be a luxury brand, and that's that. But yeah, Monte Rosa, there were some very nice ones. I own several of them. I don't see any out here, but they made some nice ones. And I wanted to do a Survivor pen with this also, but I may have the wrong ink in it because this is Krishna Kanakona, and it tends to be crusty even in this pen. Hello, Michigan. I would love to visit the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. I have seen some spots, and there's an island in Michigan I really want to visit where there are no cars. Because I remember there was this is how I heard of it. There was a whole thing when then Vice President Pence wanted to visit and was told that, you can't bring vehicles. And, well, I'm the vice president, and, a whole deal like that. I can't remember the name of the island, though, but that's when I heard of it. And they even have a school there. I bet it's expensive to live there, though. But anyway, this is actually my very first Survivor pen because I did a video on this where I was very negative and I bashed it and criticized a lot of things about it. And then I came back a couple of years later and did another video where I said, my opinion has changed. Because, as you know, if you follow the channel, I like the Platinum 3776 model. I have every nib except for the Ultra Extra Fine and the Extra Fine. Okay, I'm thinking you mean this pen because, yeah, I guess this was a pretty uncommon version. It's pretty, though. I like it. All right, here we go. Mackinac Island. That's the one with no cars allowed in it. Yeah. Thank you. And, Scotland here. Another Aurora fan? Yes, I like my Aurora. I've got some vintage ones and some new ones. This one is not currently inked up. I'm waiting for a couple of days. I want to do, 8 pens, 1 ink. And this is one of the 8 pens I want to do. And yeah, I like it. I've got two of the modern Aurora 88s. I have an Aurora Optima. I have an Aurora Style, which different end to that. And then I have several vintage Aurora 88s. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, more detail. Yes. Foot traffic only, bikes and horses. I would like that. I could happily live in a place like that. Um, I don't. I live in a place where you absolutely have to own a car, but would, I think I would enjoy that. Now I've heard of the movie Somewhere in Time, but I feel like that had Superman in it before his accident. I can't remember his name. Chris something? Nope. Christopher Reeves? Is that it? Anyway. Ooh, an Optima Veloa. Yeah, I have my Optima is it's got their Soleil finish, which is very bright. I like it. So this is what I have out for pens right now. As far as ink, I'm still working on using up ink. I have a new bottle of ink thanks to that buying that Pilot Custom 823. I got this now. So I have a lot of Pilot blue. So maybe instead of doing Parker Quink washable blue, I should be doing Pilot. But can't betray my channel like that. One thing I'm working on, I'm not sure how to fix it yet, but I have this Pelican Sylvexa. And of course, there's no ink in it, but I'm trying to figure out how to fix it. Somewhere, ooh, maybe there. In this light, I can see a hairline crack right there. Anyway, I would always find I get ink on my fingers writing with it, and so it leaks out. I was thinking up here around the ink window, but maybe that's a hairline crack. So I couldn't see that before. But yeah, I can feel it with my fingernail. I'll bet it doesn't show up here. I'll bet this camera can't focus that close either. Anyway, wow. Okay, I'm glad I talked to you guys about this pen because that's been a mystery. Now, how I'm going to fix that is another question, but we'll might be my chance to try out Captain Tolly's. That was recommended to me as a way to fix cracks. Okay, Mackinac City to the island. Yeah, that's true. If it's a place like that, I'm sure it is loaded with tourists. That's one thing. I said that I live in the touristy area of North Dakota. That's because we have the Badlands here. My town is not a tourist destination. If you ever visit my town, it is. I mean, it's not an ugly town. I know some ugly towns, but it's not one of those cute towns where people want to come and visit and spend time. My town is more on the way to somewhere else type of deal. It's we get a lot of tourists stay here or come through here, but not to actually come here. This is a pen I also need to do a video on. I've had this for years. Glass pen. I used to do a lot of ink swatching, and that's what I would use. Hey, welcome to Andrew Hoffman. If I remember right, you're Australian. So if I'm remembering right, welcome to us. Welcome to our Australian. I'm trying to remember what this pen even is. Okay, it's from behind the Iron Curtain, whatever it is, because I can tell because of this captured converter thing. By the way, if anybody knows how to get these out, I own one pen, an old Central pen, where it unscrewed, but most of them I think are glued in because I've got two with this type of captured converter that I need to do repair work in here, and I can't figure out how to get in there. So whatever this is, I'm guessing behind the Iron Curtain. So I'll have to. Oh, here we go. Marquant 165. So got an East German pen coming up. I haven't reviewed that one yet, filmed that one, but that's in my next batch of filming. Yeah, I got a couple of pens here for my next batch of filming. This is one I can't believe I've never filmed. A lever filler well sharp glass pen. Probably from Second World War, I'm guessing. Let's see, what else here haven't I shown you yet? What's this? Oh, yeah. This is I think an Argentine pen. I'll do a video on that one too. All right. Anyway, that's enough looking at pens. Some pen people have the ability to show their face and their pens at the same time. I currently do not. I think the software can handle it, but I just not something. Okay, Bulgarian pen. Actually, Chris Rapp, the channel Chris Rapp, is the reason I bought this pen. He pointed out to me that it existed, and I just. All right, let's look. Do I have anything else cool here? I don't know if I've ever shown this. This is a pen rest I was given. Except my desk is awful and it leans to one side, so I got to be careful how I set it because it'll tip over. I love that my desk folds up into the wall. But I found out I only do that when I have guests. And my lights are clamped to the desk. I can't put my heavier typewriters on it. So I am actually thinking about unscrewing the desk part from it, because the desk part's on hinges, and just getting a small table to be my desk. Oh, glad you could be here. I'll try to behave while we're on camera. Yeah, I run this about an hour, and the nice thing is this all gets saved, so it will be here. Let me just make sure of one setting that I've been worried about. Okay, yeah, everything. Ooh, here we go. Fountain pens, tactical fountain pens, notebooks, reading, and other. All right. Yeah. Sorry. Had to look what my whole thing was about. Hello? Oh, and we've got another one from Florida. So a lot of Florida here today, whatever this is. All right, let's look at my face again. There we go. So I see we're up to 34 viewers. Now I can move the computer to a more convenient spot. Whoops. And my camera just got unplugged. Don't worry, I am still here. Camera is glowing, but it is not recording. So I apologize. This may end the live stream very quickly. Who knows? Let's try this. Nope, that didn't help. I was having trouble with the camera right before the live stream started too. So this could be related to that. Doggone. Okay, let's see if I can change cameras midstream. Wait, click the camera button to turn it back on when you're ready. Where's the camera button? Shoot, this is embarrassing. Start cam. Let's try that. All right, so I have. Well, now we're on my laptop camera, so I'm not looking at you awkwardly. I'm just going to move my tray of pens over here. And we'll bring you back, and I don't know, I'll figure out what's wrong with the camera. That document camera, I'll just show it to you. I don't know why it's not working, but this is what I use, and it just flips down. This you can flip, you can rotate this part. Anyway, it's very handy, and has been awesome for years until today. So, don't know what I did. All right, let's just see if the other. Oh, it's back. Okay. Well, now you got to see the books. Yeah, so these are this bookshelf. Since I got you up here, this is going to be a little awkward, but this desk has a bookshelf that's on the wall, and then the desk part folds out. I got my laptop sitting there, but and then I've got ink on top, and there's my notebooks, my wireless, and if anybody wants to see some North Dakota weather, this is as close a view as you get because the wire to this camera is now wrapped around the light. Let's see. Okay, everybody's getting seasick. Sorry. And it's gone again. All right. I am not being real successful here. Okay. All righty. Okay. Well, it worked for a minute. I don't know. So I have the feeling that none of you saw any of that. So I apologize. I don't know what's up with this camera. Maybe maybe after the video's over, I will try a different cord in it because it seemed to go bad once I moved it. But we'll just do it this way. Anyway, ooh, that sounds fun. Restored a lever filler today. Yeah, lever fillers are a great way if you want to get into repairing pens. That's a nice, easy way to get into it. Just repairing. Yeah. Anyway, resacking is what the word I was looking for. They still sell the parts to do it. You get the, you get the lever bars and everything. My next restoration project, I think, might be that Central pen where I managed to unscrew the captured converter. I haven't decided for sure, but I think that'll be it because I need to repair the piston inside that thing. I was looking at those. I am curious about those Majan V60s, especially since they're piston fillers. I do own a Omos 360, but mine's a cartridge pen, not cartridge converter, definitely cartridge. So yeah, I was curious what those were like. Okay, apparently it worked. And the sound is still okay, so it's definitely the camera that's... I think it's the wire. I'm pretty sure it's the cable that was connecting this to my computer. So I will play with it after this. Maybe that's my next repair project, is that camera. I was looking at, you can get that same model of camera with a 4K. I was thinking about it, but then I just thought, I don't like looking down this because it makes me look like I have a double chin, but we'll just do that. But anyway, I just couldn't talk myself into it. Someday, maybe. I don't have a computer that can handle 4K. Well, okay, the computer probably could. The software I use cannot. And this is, what is it, 720p? It's less than high definition. So that's how I talked myself out. I was like, where are you going to use it? All righty. Oh, welcome. Glad to have you. No worries, it is all recorded. Oh, thank you. Yeah, mine is still there. Somebody put food in it, which I guess is a thing with some little free libraries. Nobody has taken the food, so with the cold weather, I'm thinking I'm going to take it out because it'll freeze and it's canned, so I don't need that all over my books. But yeah, I'm kind of excited about it. I'm going to go visit. Probably go to either Dickinson or Spearfish next weekend. So I'm going to take some of my books out and trade them around with little free libraries, whichever place I go. I think that'd be, yeah, I like the idea of trading. I might even make a video out of it. Who knows? Yeah, with the pressure bar, if the old one is in there, you can measure it and find out. I have, well, I buy them usually from Anderson Pens, and they come at I think Anderson Pens has them in 2 sizes, and then they also have the ones for the push button pressure bars. And so I just have both sizes here. Okay, glad to hear that. Yeah, I do want to try it. I went for many months not buying a single fountain pen. I was so close to paying off the house and cut several expenses. And then afterwards, they stayed cut. And some of them were going to stay cut. They were things that I realized, oh, yeah, I really didn't need to be spending money on that. Other things, were just, okay, I'm going to defer this for a while I accomplish this goal a little bit sooner. Oh, that's true too. I had a pawn pen from Norway that I had to adjust the length of one of the pressure bars. Yeah, it was one of the push button ones, but yeah, I had to adjust it just slightly because it was the pressure bar that was in it was all rusted and had broken, and this one, there was no way this was fitting in there. So yeah, that is a good point. That's something I wish. That's one of the videos I want to do. I want to do a video on resacking a pen and a video on pressure bars, and that might be fun. I'm seeing a trend with some of the fountain pen people where they're not doing so many videos reviewing pens, and they're doing more on other things with pens, like writing with them and the like. Or I'm not going to do this, but as fashion objects. I need to do more repair videos. I quit for a while because I wasn't wearing these. I didn't realize I knew I needed them because my eyesight was struggling. I quit reading books. I was mostly reading on I have a generic Kindle, and I was reading books on that because I could make the print a little bit bigger. And I was struggling at school, grading papers and working with electronics. You need good eyesight. And well, anyway, I subbed for the BOAG teacher who is now retired, and she gave me these, which are safety glasses, but down here is a reader glass, and it changed my life. Now, unlike her, I don't like to read like this because she would wear these everywhere, because then, looking straight ahead, we got normal glass, and then we look down and we got our readers. No, not a fan of that. But reading glasses are cheap. You can get them at Dollar General for like $3. This is a more expensive pair. I bought it at a grocery store for $20. I have several pairs laying around. There's a pair in my bedroom when I read at night, or actually I like to read in the morning. If I have a pair over where I sit, I got a pair at the desk. I got just a cheap pair in the kitchen, cheap pair down in the basement. I have a nice pair at school. I keep several pairs. I know real glasses are a lot more expensive, but anyway, that halted me repairing fountain pens for a long time because I was making videos on it. And so I really need to get back into doing that. So thank you for the reminder, whoever it was that asked about my next repair project. I think it'll be that Centro pen. And I want to use this to film it just because of some of the awkwardness that may happen. So I got to get that cutting off thing figured out. And I want to do a video on resacking. I need to try the Captain Tollies on this pen, figure out how to do it. It was somebody here, actually, and I don't know if they're on this video, but somebody in my comments that suggested Captain Tollies for cracks. So I guess they use it on sailboats and things to fill in cracks. So why not here? See, running dry. About the only other thing, school has restarted. It's long restarted. Started back in August. We just ran a cross country meet, state cross country. Um, was it last weekend already? It was the 25th we ran it. Yeah, that might have been last weekend. Anyway, our boys, for the 5th year in a row, took first. And if you look at the top 10 runners in the race, most of them were from my school. And number one runner was from my school. And then our girls took third at state. Hello? I don't dress suave. I dress comfortable. Like I said, I quit even wearing a tie to school. My fashion sense is middle-aged slob, not snob, slob. In the summer, my usual outfit is a t-shirt and shorts. In the winter, I want something heavier on, so I bought some sweaters and things that I can wear, and didn't spend much money on them because I teach science, so why bother? Because they're going to get wrecked there anyway. But yeah, actually, on that rebranding topic, years ago, I remember, I forget which one, Nick Nimmin, I think, was talking about, how your channel name should match what your channel's about. And Wasky Squirrel, well, what's that about? Who knows? And yeah, I'm probably the slowest growing fountain pen channel on YouTube. And I thought about changing to something else, Dakota Pens, or, you can see, hide, oh, yes, and I agree, comfort is all. Badlands Pen Club, because I am in the Badlands of North Dakota where I live. But I just keep going. That's what I am. Because it's not like I make much money. What kind of science do you teach? So I actually teach in a very, by US standards, a very small school. Our total enrollment is around 500 students, K through 12. So I am one of two science teachers. So my degree is in physics, but I actually teach right now physical science, two sections of physical science, chemistry, physics, one section of high school STEM, and one section of junior high STEM. In my career, I've taught just about everything in science. I used to teach at, believe it or not, much smaller schools where I was the only science teacher. I'm actually also certified to teach math, so I have been a math teacher from time to time, just not this year, which I'm okay with. But yeah, that's what I teach currently. And like I said, physics is my degree. I'm trying to think. I did actually recently see one that I thought was clever. It wasn't from the candidate I'm voting for, but it was still very clever. And I'm trying to think what it was. It made me laugh when I looked at it, but I can't remember why it made me laugh. It was clever. Anyway, we'll just say that. I don't think either candidate's giving out fountain pens. But okay, so this isn't political at all, but I'm just a factoid. I did not know this. There was, if you remember, during the Trump administration, there was this whole thing about how this hurricane track had been drawn on with Sharpie. And then I started reading about how, he's signing everything with Sharpies. And I thought this was, just making fun of him and referencing back to this map. No, Donald Trump's favorite pen was a Sharpie, and he would sign everything with a Sharpie. Whatever company makes Sharpies actually had a special version of the Sharpie just for him that was all black, so it would look classier. That was interesting to me. I guess Joe Biden went back to Cross. I think it was Cross, not fountain pens, roller balls. The same article was talking about who was the last president to use a fountain pen? Was it as recent as Reagan? Might have been before that. Anyway, they don't use fountain pens anymore. And I did know this. You'll see them. They'll have a whole bunch of pens lined up, and they'll sign. But they'll sign a little bit with this pen, and then they'll hand it to somebody, and then they'll grab the next pen, do a little more of their signature. Oh, here, you get this pen. And so I guess that's a thing where presidents give away their pens that they sign bills as a memento of their signiness. I don't know. Um, Here's a Sharpie. I mean, that doesn't quite have the same flair as here's at least a nice roller ball. So I don't know. But anyway, it was an interesting article. I gotta look for it now, because now I'm wondering which president it was that was the last one to use fountain pens. Because I know Clinton didn't. Clinton was a lefty, and lefties tend not to like fountain pens, and because you're writing, and I'm not left-handed, but you're writing and you're going dragging across what you just wrote, which that's why lefties that collect fountain pens usually have an interesting way of holding it so that they're not dragging their hand through the ink. It's also interesting. I had a student once. I don't even know if I could do it, but you hold a pen or a pencil like this, and he would kind of do this thing. It looked very uncomfortable, but that's how he held it. I know when I was younger, I remember fighting about this with my teacher too. I always used to hold my fountain pen like this, or my pencil like this, not on this finger, but on this finger. And I had the whole callus built up here and everything that you get, when you do a lot of writing. And then when I got into collecting fountain pens, I decided to make an effort to improve my handwriting and switched to holding it properly. I no longer had to rebel against that teacher. So I finally did it the way she wanted me to way, way back then. Yeah, that is true. Oh yeah, Taylor Swift came out with a fountain pen. I forget who. Somebody did a video on the Taylor Swift pen. I don't remember who. I think that would be a bit of a stretch to make that political. I mean, it was a deal, I guess. So who's she going to endorse? I don't know. What a surprise! But yeah, the pen is just a pen, and I don't know enough about Taylor Swift. I don't know her music. I promised myself when I left college that no, I'm not going to get like my teachers. I'm not going to get old and where I'm out of touch with what students are into. I got old and out of touch with what students are into. I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I couldn't tell you a single song she sings. I only know about Justin Bieber because I had a Ferrari themed fountain pen, and actually it's my Cross Townsend is Ferrari themed, and I found out that he is barred from buying Ferraris because he customized his Ferrari that he bought from him, which I guess you're not allowed to do. So I know about Justin Bieber. Yeah, I think most of the presidents use cross. I'm sure Reagan did, Obama, Bush's did use crosses, Clinton used cross. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure when they quit using fountain pens. Used to be Parkers were popular, but back at one time, Parker was an American company based in Janesville, Wisconsin, and now what is it? They're based in England. They manufacture in France, and they're owned by Rubbermaid or Newell or somebody. And it's the same people that own Waterman, and I think just Waterman and Parker. But anyway, yeah, to get American-made fountain pens, most of them are custom fountain pens made by people, small manufacturers, let's say, like Edison Pen. Bexley, I think, is an American brand. Just these small ones. Yeah. Okay, Rubbermaid. Thank you. So anyway, I've been going for about an hour. Need another sip of water if I got to do any more. But I said I was kind of drying up on topics. So the other thing I saw I put in my video description is books. So I'll just close out with a couple of books here. So I saw this. in Walmart. Had to have it. So if you know these little golden books, this is A for Alien. And it goes through every letter of the alphabet having to do with the movie Alien. So I thought that was hilarious. I did read it. It didn't take long. I don't know if I had a kid, if I would give it to my kid, but probably wouldn't watch Alien with my kid till they're a little older. I think I was in elementary school when I read that or watched that. I read the book first. This is one that arrived. It took months for this to arrive. That's a whole another story. Before he was a famous author, he was also a professor. And there is a lot about using index cards for note taking and then a lot about writing. So, yeah, who knows if I will be writing a thesis ever. I'm thought about now that my house is paid off and I've got more free cash, maybe pursuing a master's degree. But then part of me says, but you can retire in 11 years. Whether I'll retire in 11 years, another question. But then it makes me think, is it worth it? It should be available to watch later. I know the chat takes a while to appear, but I put the chat on the screen, unless it's chat between two people that have nothing to do with me. So you should be able to watch it later, and no worries. I mean, we all have our lives. There's a couple people that I want to join in their live streams, and I either forget or I'm busy, so I come in later. Okay, so Reagan. So I was right that Reagan was the last one. Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me. It's a generational thing. I mean, our current president is old enough to have used fountain pens, but a lot of people switched over. Yes, Zettelkasten is something I want to talk about. Index cards. I've been writing notes just for myself about index cards. I do want to do a video on them. I think I did a video. Oh boy, I did a video last summer. Anyway, I did one last summer that was something like that. I don't remember, but yeah, I want to get into a couple of these systems. There's a system called Pile of Cards, and Umberto Eco has a very organized way of doing notes. I have a pile of index cards that I turned into an outline, and I'm currently editing the outline, and I'm hoping to turn into a set of driving videos later this winter. What am I reading this week? So I'm kind of between two books. One of them is let's hide that. Chinua Achebe's No Longer at Ease. He's I want to say Nigerian author. Anyway, the original, this is a trilogy about colonization of Africa. So the first one is called Things Fall Apart, and that's about when the white man first started to colonize Africa. Then No Longer at Ease is kind of in the middle of the colonization, and this is this is No Longer at Ease. I don't remember the name of the middle one. Arrow of God. Sorry, Arrow of God is about the middle of the colonization, and this takes place in the 1950s, toward the end of the colonization. So I've been reading that, and then I've also been reading Carl Sagan's Contact. I last read this when I was a kid in elementary. Well, I couldn't have been older than 14 because I know what library I got it out of, and I've been meaning to reread it for years, and I just decided to, because yeah, when I went to the state cross country meet, I stopped at Barnes and Noble in Bismarck. The regular bookstore I used to go to is now out of business, so I had to go to Barnes and Noble, and so this is one of the books I bought, and I'm rereading it. So I'll give my thoughts on that later, but interesting, my views now as a soon-to-be 49-year-old man versus my views 14 or younger whenever I last read it. Okay. Yep, ballpoint. And I'll bet it's a Parker Jotter also. Parker Jotter is a very nice ballpoint, if you're into that kind of thing. And yes, Carl Sagan was a good communicator. I've got several of his books here. A couple of years ago, I read Demon Haunted World. I've got this is my soon to read. And actually, this guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson, is kind of a modern Carl Sagan. He's a little, he's different from, his style is not quite as confrontational as Carl Sagan sometimes could be. But he doesn't back down either. So, anyway, that's on my to read pile. I've got several here. I've got, I gotta stop buying books. I got too many books, but they're just so addictive. I like reading them, so I keep doing it. And now that I figured out the eyesight thing, I can do it again. And yeah, I heard a story that as a high schooler, maybe around age 17 or so, Neil deGrasse Tyson actually visited Carl Sagan in, I think he lived in Ithaca, New York, which is a town I've driven through several times. And Carl Sagan spent a whole day with him and really inspired him to follow in his footsteps. So that's pretty awesome. Oh yeah, here's another Carl Sagan book. Wow. Dragons of Eden, which is all about human intelligence. And yeah, there's my Demon Haunted World. And especially since I'm a science teacher, I take that pretty seriously. And I have some books about the Great Sioux War and other things just to read in the future. Anything else interesting here? I have books all over the house, so who knows? But anyway, it's been it's been more than an hour. We're up to 33 viewers, so I thank everybody for joining in. Covered the tactical fountain pen and which world leaders use what kind of pen. A little bit about books. You got to see some of my pens that I have inked, including some coming attractions. And yeah, thank everybody for joining in. And this will be available later. I'm not 100% sure what happens with the chat. I know it takes a while to appear beside it, and sometimes it just doesn't, and I don't know why. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. I always forget what to do here. There it is.